Hi everyone, welcome to another video in the series where we're covering how to build an AI-ready backend with Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Functions, FastAPI, and the Python SDK. We've already covered data modeling with Pydantic. We've covered creating a client, a Cosmos client, and leveraging connection pooling. And then today we're going to talk about async, all things async, why we should use async, and how to leverage it in our API. I'll have a bunch of resources in the description. Demo repository is going to be there. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because we still got more videos to cover. Let's dive right in. Let's talk about why async matters in the first place, especially in 2025 where AI is in hot demand, right? Now, when we are using Azure Functions, the platform itself will take care of scaling our FastAPI instances to meet demand, and that's awesome. But within each instance, we have to make sure that we are dealing with concurrency correctly. If we were to use synchronous operations, which is this example here, when we call an operation, say read item on the database, well, this means that this thread is going to wait. It's stuck waiting for a response from our database. And you can imagine that across many instances, that time's going to add up. Of course, functions could spin up another instance, but then you're kind of losing the benefit of having a single instance be able to do multiple things. Now, this second example here, we're using async and then we're using await as well. This means that when we call that read item, this thread is free to work until the response is back from Cosmos DB. Now, you can also start to imagine how these milliseconds start to add up across instances in terms of saving us time and being more efficient, of course. Now, if we take a look at our product CRUD as an example, we are using the azure.cosmos.aio package. And we're also using that in our route here as well. You can see it here too. And that's the package that's going to enable us to use the async functionality that the Python SDK Cosmos DB NoSQL offers us. If we continue taking a look at our examples here, now remember in the last video in our database, let me open up that file for us real quick. Be sure to check that video as well. We configured one global client. Here it is here. Right. And we made sure that our function instance is going to use that one global client and have just a single connection pool. Okay. So we have our authenticated and encrypted connections in our connection pool, and we have one per function instance. And then the good part of this package here, our azure.cosmos.aio, is that it will handle working with the same connection pool. So all those connections that we have available within that one connection pool. So we're not creating multiple connection pools because we have that global client. And then we're also making sure that we're using the right package to take advantage of those connections that we have available. So that could look something like this, for example. All these requests share that same single connection pool, right? For example, we have here we have a container.read item. We want the item with ID 1, uses connection from the pool. We have a read item.2, uses a different connection. And then the third request here might reuse a connection when available. Okay, so we can start to see how piecing these things together will give us the best of all worlds, really, when it comes to making things async. And then, of course, in our product.crud, we are making sure to utilize async. And then, of course, do not forget that you also have to await. Where is our call here? Await as well. So if you don't, then you're going to back to synchronous operations and, defeats the purpose of doing all this too. And additionally, we are doing the same here in FastAPI. We have async and await. Async and await in our endpoints there as well. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you're starting to see how all these building blocks are coming together to build that AI ready backend. In the next couple of videos, we're going to be covering batch operations, So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions you have, drop them in the comments. Be sure to check out the resources in the description, and I will see you in the next video.